You might think that the answer is no. The Bible, after all, is a collection of ancient texts, and expressive individualism as a movement has only been around for a few decades. And the other point is that the word identity doesn't appear in any English version of the Bible that I've had a look at. However, the Bible does actually address many of the questions of identity that we're asking today, and I think in really profound, beautiful and true ways. So for example, the question, who am I, actually appears in the Bible. What is a human being appears in the Bible. And what we call the anthropological terms, what make us up as human beings, things like our heart, our soul, our spirit, our body, our mind, they're actually biblical terms, and there's every indication that that's flowed through to the English language directly from the Bible. But there's actually something more important here, and it's this idea that the Bible gives us an identity, especially if you're a believer. Everyone has an identity from God in being made in the image of God. But believers in Christ have an identity given to them by being known by God intimately and personally as his child. Our identity then is a gift from God. It becomes central to who we are and affects all the other aspects of who we are as individuals. And the second thing is that the story notion of personal identity is also addressed in the Bible very profoundly, I think. So for God's people, we live a story which is actually based on the story of Jesus Christ. I love the way Paul puts it in Colossians 3, and I'll try to change the translation just to get the word identity in there, which I think is legitimate. So he says in Colossians 3, you died. Think about that for a moment. That's a really weird idea. You died with Christ. Not only did he die in your place, you died with him to sin and self-interest. And your identity is hidden with Christ in God. There's a sense in which who you really are is secure in him. It's a beautiful thought, I think. When Christ appears, who is your life story, you will appear with him in glory. So the second coming of Christ, we look forward to that day because the whole world will know the true identity of Jesus Christ as God's one and only Son. We will also be shown to have our true identities as God's people and as his sons and daughters.